Hello everyone, welcome back to another Batman miniature game battle report on a new table setup, and we have a new crew as well. Going up against 350 rep of the Teen Titans today is 350 rep of the League of Assassins. So here is 350 rep of the League of Assassins being led by Ra's al Ghul, and then he's joined by his assassins. This is each, and he has trained in the shadows. 300 rep, it gives him the hidden role so he can deploy on the map. It's what High Security Henchman has. Then we have Guro, I think this is called, the large lad at the back there. He's got a grapple gun. And then we have Key, he's got a bow. He has hidden by default, so he'll also be deploying outside of deployment zone. Free agent, Bronze Tiger, ready to do some kung fu. And then Fall Guy, that's cheap and cheerful, Carlo Grotti from the Blackgate Prisoner set. And then we have Wayne Tech, Loot and Medical for their objectives. So with a lot of cards laid out, here is the Teen Titans crew using a lot of models that did not come in the Teen Titans box just because they have a few options for who can come. So we are being led by Dick Grayson, but in his Nightwing persona, not Robin, even though the Robin miniature from the Teen Titans box is probably better, especially in this team. Backed up by Barbara Gordon. Then we have Raven. This is Raven's assortment of spells: Magic Healing, Black Shadows, Magic Bolt, Restoration, Curse, and her unique, which is Farseer, for some magic. Henchman Damian Wayne, and then from the Teen Titans bat box as well we have Hawk and Dove. Dove has an extra magazine for her light blades, and Dick and Barbara have handcuffs. Don't ask too many questions about that. I think that covers everything for them. Oh wait, no, objectives of course. A Portal, Titan, because it's thematically apt, and Ace Chemicals. Now, because they're not using a crew setup from the Teen Titans box, that would mean they should have 4 inexperience points. However, for every sidekick they get -1. Barbara and Dick are both sidekicks, so it's actually 2 inexperience points, and 2 of the League of Assassins will be getting buffed by the Trigon Portal unless the Teen Titans are claiming it. Let's go see what objective we're playing. So the scenario we rolled for today was Skirmish, so that's the one where the bonus objectives are bring me his head for killing the enemy boss, get an extra 3 victory points, and take out 50% worth of reputation of the enemy team for 2 bonus at the end of the game, with the big deployment zones 8 inches, 8 inches, and as far as anything else to cover, we'll go over the board in a second, but inexperience points are being given to Raven and Dick, and the Trigon Portal boosted ones are being given to Ra's and Bronze Tiger. So we come over here, we can see the deployment. There's 3 of the Teen Titans there next to a lamppost. They're near Hawk so they can shuffle their counters if they activate before him. The Wayne Tech is there. The Loot is there, the Ace Chemicals is there. Also, one of the assassins has hidden himself up to there. The other assassin has hidden himself up to there. The basic rules are you have to be 4 inches away from objective. Just realise even vertically that might not be quite 4 inches, they might have to be there. But we're going to have to look at that again actually, because he has to be 12 inches away from a person if he can be seen. And he has to be 4 inches away from an objective. And that might be 4. We'll check and fix it before the first activation. Anyway, the medical for Race's team is there. And then over here we have Damien and Dick down here by the Batmobile. We have Barbara up on the roof because she's got a bat cape. We've got a lamp. The Trigon Portal is right there as we were talking about. Probably just have to shuffle that a little. We'll see. The other Ace Chemicals, Bronze Tiger and Carlo are over here causing trouble. Guro is there. Race is there. And the Titan for the Titans team is there. So other than any reshuffling of the hidden models, that covers it. All that remains is to see who's going to be getting turn 1. First activation. Being faced for the League, bat signal for the Teen Titans, and it will be, as I almost dropped the thing from the bag, it'll be the League of Assassins going first in battle round 1. So to get the game started, each activated and has moved up to the Loot, picked it up, and then he threw a smoke grenade at his feet, so there is a 4-inch round blast around him that is obscuring him, and anyone who moves into it will have to hit on 6s, so he's hoping to make a quick getaway next turn. We'll see if that's the case with 3 Titans relatively close by. So the first activation for the Teen Titans was Raven. She tried to cast Black Shadow and failed the psychic test, so the penalty for that was 1 blood damage, which she has taken. She then successfully cast Farseer, so on next turn's activation she can reroll any 2 dice she wants. Then she just moved up a normal move to there, to grab the Wayne Tech belonging to the League, but if she holds it, she will still get points for it because it's the player who controls it, not the owner. And that's all she could do because she can't see through the smoke unless she has total vision, but she doesn't, so back over to the League. Goro activated next for the League and moved down here, around here, past these trees, grappled, and is now in touching range of the Trigon Portal, so that means it negates the Teen Titans' ability to claim it 4 inches. because he's in base to base, he has to be shifted off of that if they want to score any points from it. Barbara Gordon activated next. She was up here, she moved to the edge, back caped straight down, then just moved here to be out of line of sight of the arrow wielding assassin up there. Threw batlings at Guro. Only one hit and then it failed to wound, so thanks to Just a Scratch that's just one single stun on him. And he's quite tough. The Demon's Head himself, Raish, activated, and he has a lot of movement, especially thanks to the extra counter from the Trigon Portal, so he has moved over here with his assassins in an effort to help protect the Trigon Portal from the Teen Titans. So he's right next to Guro and did nothing else with his turn. Nightwing activated and tried to set a good example for Damien because somebody's gotta. So he moved all the way up here. No, he could have made it to the Ace Chemicals because he is very fast, but he opted not to because that would put him in danger zone of Bronze Tiger, and he wants Bronze Tiger to come to him, ideally. Plus he has some cover there if Carlo decides to try and shoot at him. So he only went that far, didn't go for the Titan, did however throw Wingdings at Guro. One hit got fully through for 2 damage despite him having light armor, so it's wounding on 5s. The other hit failed the wound but did get the hit, so that's an additional stun for Just a Scratch, so that's 3 more stun on Guro, which puts him at 4 stun total, and I believe he has 7 endurance. So Dick made a tactical error there by being within 12 inches of the arrow-wielding assassin up there on the wall, who activated, stayed still and activated precise aim for better rolls on his wounds, but it didn't come to that. He needed a 4+ to get through Dick's defense, and failed. So he used his once per game caustic explosive acid arrow. He still has normal arrows left, but it missed, so Nightwing got exceptionally lucky there. That was a tactical misplay. But it's okay, because he missed, he now just has normal arrows left, which are not nearly as damaging. So back over to the Assassins now for their next move. By which I mean the Teen Titans, because the Assassins just went. The Teen Titans continued to get a little bit unlucky with rolls in this first turn. Dove activated and reshuffled her counters for being within a certain distance of Hawk, and he has Chaos Agent. She flew to roughly here-ish for 8 inches, then did a standard move over there next to Batgirl. She shot her light projection beams at Guro, got the hit, and then failed to wound. So it did 1 stun thanks to Just a Scratch as well. Guro is being remarkably lucky and tanky, which I guess is what he's for. Bronze Tiger activated next, and with the help of the extra counter from the Trigon Portal moved all the way around here into base to base with Nightwing and did a staggering 5 stun. That was thanks to 2 hits getting through. He has reinforced gloves for 4 plus a crit for an extra 1 for 5. He had 4 attacks. He can use defense counters as attacks, so he might as well always be rocking 4 defense dice. With rerolls on hit as well, and he needed 4s to hit Nightwing, so he was lucky that only 2 got through with the reroll, honestly. It's the first bit of luck the Teen Titans have had, but it's still 5 out of 7 endurance gone on stun damage. Nightwing's in a bad place. So sensing trouble, Damien moved up, had just enough to get into base to base with Bronze Tiger, only had 2 attacks, although he gets a 3rd thanks to Combo Katana. Didn't make a difference. He had no defense dice left, but that didn't matter, just couldn't get the wound rolls through. He needed, was it 5s, but he was re-rolling for sharp, but still didn't manage it. Very disappointing and very unlucky. Bronze Tiger is unhurt, despite not needing to defend himself at all. So the last 2 activations for Battle Round 1, Carlo Grotti activated. He was going to go through the Surgrain to go try and nab the medical, but because Hawk hadn't went yet and he was in the back line, it was too risky, so he moved up and then just shot a rate of fire 1 into Nightwing to try for a Hail Mary takeout of the leader, and he missed because Dick had 1 movement counter left he used for dodging. So then it was Hawk, and Hawk had nothing much to do over there, so he's just moved up. There's going to be quite the brawl in this portion of the table right here. So at the end of Battle Round, starting with a slight correction, when Raven ended her turn she still had a bunch of special counters left over that she wasn't doing anything with, and she could have spent one of them on regeneration to get rid of the blood damage that the spell miscast gave her, so retconning a little bit, she does not have 1 blood, it's gone. In terms of recoveries, Guro and Nightwing both recovered 1 stun each, so they're sitting on 4 stun in total each. And in terms of victory points gained, the League of Assassins have the loot, which is being held for 1, and the Teen Titans hold the Wayne Tech that does not belong to them for 2. So it's a 2-1 lead as we go into Battle Round 2. The counters are being dished out exactly the same, so Dick and Barbara get 1 less each, and Bronze Tiger and Raish get 1 more each. And it will be the Teen Titans going first in Battle Round 2. Very important. So with this mess of models over here, there was a lot of important, let's say, choices that the Teen Titans could have done for their first activation. Opted for Damien because he's a bit of a glass cannon and always dies, as we know. So he activated, he had 4 in attack, which becomes 6 because he has combo with his katana. He put them all into Bronze Tiger. He has rerolls on hits and wounds because he has handy and sharp, so it seemed like the best option to do wounds to someone with defense 5, 5 defense dice. Anyway, 3 hits got through. Bronze Tiger opted to use 3 of his 5 dice to defend. They all failed. It was a 2-2-1 situation. And then the reroll wounds, trying to get through on 4s. Managed to get 2 hits through because he's in a Brave and the Bold affiliate. Well, it's a Teen Titans team, but there is Brave and the Bold affiliated people in here, so that means he doesn't do blood damage. He did 4 stun to Bronze Tiger, making him lose 2 more counters, which is pretty handy. And he has 7 endurance in total, so he's getting there. That was the only option that seemed viable because Bronze Tiger was definitely going to take Nightwing out. He still might. I think he's got 2 defense dice left, but he can use them as attack if he needs to. Anyway, over to the League of Assassins. Let's see what they do in return. Our next activation was for the League, and it was Bronze Tiger, and hey, some bad luck finally happened to them. He had 2 dice, as I believe we previously discussed, put them into Nightwing, rolled 2 1s, rolled Snake Eyes, but he rerolls to hit rolls. He needed 4s, rerolled into 2 3s. 2 1s rerolled into 2 3s, meaning he did absolutely nothing to Nightwing, and as a result he slinked away 4 inches to think about what he did. Hoping to perhaps get a ping roll if anyone chucks like batlings at him or anything, I guess, but that was a little bit disastrous. That could have been like 4 points there before he gets taken out for 3, so it would have kind of counteracted. It came down to like who do you activate that has the best chance of taking Nightwing out. He's sitting on 3 defense, 1 movement. Technically Carlo could have moved and taken a shot, or stayed still and taken a shot, so could the arrow guy. Bronze Tiger seemed like the safe bet because he's re-rolling hits and then wounding on 3s, but nope, didn't happen that way. I still think that was probably the best chance, but either way, back over to the Teen Titans. We're going to be spending all our time down here in this corner of the table, but Nightwing activated and he had to do the slightly cowardly but apt action of activating, using what movement he had from being an acrobat plus 1 movement counter to move next to Dove and hiding behind this car here, hoping to get healed on her activation. So it's up to the League now to either put an end to him or let him get healed. Let's see. Key activated for the League of Assassins up here on this ledge, and he opted to fire 1 of his 2 remaining arrows, just a normal serrated arrow or whatever it's called, at Nightwing. Now a little bit of contention about whether or not, because Nightwing's technically not supposed to be on a raised base, I mean he's standing on a gargoyle, but for the purposes of line of sight, we decided, yeah, that's kind of visible, so we'll count it. But he got a ping, but that didn't matter. The arrow struck Nightwing in the chest, did 2 blood plus a knockdown from matching the collateral result. He is still alive though. He has a total of 6 damage on him and he has 7 endurance. So he is knocked down, he has 2 blood, which is about to be healed by Dove, but he came very close to getting taken out. So Dove activated, she spent 2 special to activate Medic, and Medic you can either heal 1 blood or 2 stun. She opted to heal 2 stun on Nightwing just to get his maximum damage down, plus he might heal another stun at the end of a turn, so that makes him a bit safer. The blood can be healed later, or maybe Raven can get close enough to do painful empathy and draw it out of him. We'll see. Either way, she did that. She stayed still. She then shot her light protection beams at Guru. I've already forgotten which it is. Either way, 2 stun, 1 blood from a successful hit getting through his light armor, and that was exactly enough to take him to his endurance cap, so he is a henchman knocked out for a point. Over the other end of the table for once, and each activated and has moved his full allocation, minus 1 movement because he had to spend it because he's holding the loot, outside the XXX bar. It's returned again, perhaps baiting Raven into spending her turn going after him instead of doing useful things like perhaps sucking blood damage out of a wounded leader. I know a bait when I see one. Anyway, back over to the Teen Titans. So we're starting in Pseudo Crime Alley here because that was a really interesting turn that makes use of Hawk's very powerful ability that we didn't really see in action the last 2 times Teen Titans have been shown so far. So Batgirl activated, Barbara Gordon. She was there. She was within... Oh, I accidentally hit this building here. She was within, it's either 2 inches or 4 inches of Hawk, which allows her to make use of his Chaos Agent or Agent of Chaos. It's spelled differently to the Joker one, which means she can reallocate her counters. She had 4 attack, 1 defense allocated. She switched that to 1 movement, 1 special, and then the rest across attack and defense, which let her just walk her 4 inches up to Guro's unconscious corpse, well, unconscious body, spend a movement and a special to arrest him with her cuffs so he is gone as a casualty, and then she chucked Batlings with 2 attack at Carlo Grotti. 1 miss, 1 hit, but 1 failed to wound for 1 stun. A pretty effective turn and victory points gained. She's also in base to base with the portal, which means Raish is going to have to do something about that. Ray Shall Go activated and moved into base to base with the portal. He struck at Batgirl, but not before spending one special on his, I think it's called critical blows, or I can't quite remember what it's called now, but it gives him the crit casualty trait on his sword attacks. He's also Weapon Master, so he's a +1 to hit, so although she's defense 5, he was hitting on 4s, but didn't matter because none of his wounds happened. But what that skill would have meant that cost one special is that if he had got a 6 on the collateral die, if it had come to that, but it didn't, it would have instantly killed Batgirl. That's how dangerous he is. It's a 1 in 6 chance of an insta-kill if he spends the special to activate it. So he is dangerous. He's also very tough. He's defense 5, attack 5. He's no joke. Weapon Master for +1 to hit. Martial Artist as well, so he doesn't get the negative, I think. Anyway, either way, back over to the Teen Titans. They've got to do something else now. So Raven activated next, and this is an interesting thing about magic on top of the rules of the game as is, since you can do things like this, presumably, unless there's a rule otherwise that says, and please point it out if there is. So Raven activated. To use Painful Empathy on a teammate, she has to just be able to see them, so line of sight. So she moved like 4 or 5 inches, just here-ish, so she could see Nightwing. She activated Painful Empathy for 2 special, which means she can transfer up to 2 blood to her. It boosts her attack and defense, not that that mattered this turn, but it's +1 attack and defense if she does that. She's then spent a 3rd special to regen 1 of those blood off of herself, so she's only got 1 blood on her now from that. So that left her here with nothing much to do, so then she cast, what's it called, Black Shadow, the spell she failed to cast in the first turn, succeeded, and she gets to just move 6 inches, and that's not a movement action, so presumably it's allowed, so she just then used that movement to get back into contact with the Wayne Tech. It seems like that's correct. By all means point out where that's wrong if it is. And then she tried to cast Farseer to give her some rerolls next turn, and that failed, but the failure condition for that one is just -1 defense till the end of the round. The closest enemy that has any means of attacking her is already gone, so it doesn't matter. The Fall Guy Carlo Grotti activated, and where he was standing, he shot his last round of ammunition into Damien, but the intervening scenery allowed him to get pings, and he's small, so it's +1 to his pings, so no damage. He then moved backwards, didn't have enough to go through the sewer, but is at least backing up and standing next to it. So now it's just Hawk, and then that will take us to the end of the turn. So perhaps predictably, Hawk's turn was just move up to Raish, punch him, and hopefully wound him. That was not the case, however. Raish just laughed in his face and blocked all the attacks. So, on to recovery and recap for turn 2. So at the end of Battle Round 2, nobody has recovered stuns. So Nightwing's still got 2 on him, Carlo's got 1, and Bronze Tiger has 4. In terms of victory points gained, the League of Assassins still hold on to the loot for 1. The Teen Titans got the Wayne Tech for 2, and they took out a henchman entirely, so that's 1 for the casualty plus 1 for the KO. Putting them significantly ahead, I would describe that as. It's anybody's game in terms of who goes first. Let's just see as we pull out a League of Assassins turn 3. To get Battle Round 3 started, Raish activated. He activated Deadly Strike, and he used his Weapon Master sword attacks on Hawk this time. Only 1 got through though for 2 blood. Hawk is now also stronger because he has damage counters on himself. Damian Wayne activated and gave chase to Bronze Tiger and unleashed 6 attacks in total. Only 1 got through in the end for 2 stuns, so Bronze Tiger has 1 endurance left. He spent all his defense dice, and in case anyone is curious, Bronze Tiger does have counterattack, the ability, but it has to be activated first, and then it acts as a passive for the rest of the turn, so he would have had to have had an activation to spend the special to activate it. Because what it means is if he does any successful blocks, he gets a free punch back, but can't do that. 2 stun, and he's only got 1 counter left, I believe. A couple of quick activations to cover. This little assassin holding onto the loot has moved ever closer to the medical. And then for the Teen Titans, Barbara Gordon activated. She can put out a lot of attacks because she has combo unarmed, but she doesn't have reinforced gloves. She attacked Raish, only did 1 stun through to him, and that was it. Too quick. Back over to the assassins now. The little bow-wielding assassin was next, and he used his last arrow. Who comes to battle and only has 3 arrows? Anyway, he shot at Hawk, it hit, it also got a crit, so that is 2 blood, 1 stun to Hawk. Hawk's in a little bit of danger now, but he is not able to move because he has aim on his bow. And he's going to have to jump off of there next turn, and there's no ammo in the field, yeah, so he's totally out of ammo. So a couple of quick activations. Bronze Tiger activated, he spent his one movement he had left to move up to the sewer grating there and did nothing else. Nightwing hopped to his feet for free because he's an acrobat. He then hopped over the car and is positioned ever so slightly out of range of the other two engaged with Raish. He's doing that to get close enough so that he can catch an AoE heal that will hopefully, well, if Dove uses it on him, it's within 2 inches. Hopefully Raish is just outside of it, so Hawk gets healed but not him. We'll see if that's measured correctly. But for now, it's just Carlo for the Assassins, and then either Dove or Raven to go for the Teen Titans. So we can actually cover the remainder of the activations for Battle Round 3 now. Carlo activated and is taking the sewer grating. We'll see where he ended up in a second. Dove activated, moved next to Nightwing, activated Light Radiance, so everything within 2 inches also gets the medic effect. So 2 stun off of Nightwing has been healed and 1 blood off of Hawk. Then over here, this is where Carlo, or Carlos, whichever, ended up. He's at that sewer grating. Raven activated but is opting to stay where she is, and they're out of range of her magic because she wants to claim the 2 victory points for the Wayne Tech again. So that takes us to the recovery and recap for Battle Round 3. So at the end of that battle round, Bronze Tiger has recovered a stun, as did Hawk. Raish did not, and neither did Carlo Grotti. And in terms of victory points gained, the League of Assassins still have the loot, and the Teen Titans still have the Wayne Tech. Everything else is kind of being ignored, going for that big brawl in the middle. So there was no other points to gain there, even though it came a bit close with Bronze Tiger, but nope. So we're just moving on to the next round now to see who is going first in Battle Round 4, and it's going to be the Teen Titans. So to get Battle Round 4 started, Damien is like a dog with a bone. He just would not let it go. He chased Bronze Tiger. He only had 3 attacks, which turned into 4 thanks to combo. 1 hit got through for 2 stun, and that was enough. Bronze Tiger is knocked out. That is a free agent knocked out for some points, 3 I think. He's not dead, and Damien does not have the handcuffs to arrest him to remove him, so he does have a chance to wake up. He's got 7 endurance, 8 endurance, so he's got a chance. Over to the League now. Raish activated next, and he's pretty much stuck where he is, but he used his scimitar, whatever sword it is, on Hawk. Got 2 hits through for 4 blood. Hawk is dead. He is out entirely. There's no saving him. So that is a free agent gone for them too. Entirely though. So the bow assassin, who's out of ammo, dropped down, charged into Nightwing. He just used his fist, tried to hit, and wasn't able to get through the defense dice used, so Nightwing is unharmed. Back over to the Teen Titans, who've got their, plenty of picks to choose from. 2 quick activations. Barbara activated, unleashed 6 attacks on Raish, missed with literally all of them. After that, the other League of Assassins assassin moved into base to base with the medical. That's the one holding the loot, so he's now generating 4 victory points by the end of the turn, unless somebody can do anything about it. So this is history repeating itself a little bit, but Nightwing activated and had 4 attacks in total on the ninja that attacked him. He whiffed on the wounds, not on the hits this time, but he had all 4 of them through, and he rolled a bunch of 2s and 1s, so he did nothing. After that, the next activation was Carlo. He just moved up to the medical as well. So that just leaves Raven and Dove to finish off the turn. So we're already wrapping up the final activations of Battle Round 4. The League don't have much left, so that's why it's going so fast. Dove activated, just threw some punches into the assassin. She did better than Nightwing, made him look bad. Did 2 stun to him. Well, it was 1 plus the crit for the second. Raven is being wasted this game, but she's opting just to stand still there and claim the Wayne Tech again for some points, and that's going to take us to the recovery and recap. So at the end of Battle Round 4, just a quick thing, an addendum about Raven's turn. She did spend 1 special to heal the blood on her that we had forgotten about, so it's gone. She's back to full health. Bronze Tiger has woken up, so he will be getting an activation unless Robin finishes him off next turn. In terms of recovery, Raish still has his stun, Carlo still has his stun, and that's it in terms of victory points gained. Loot for 1, medical for 3 over here. The Teen Titans get 2 for the Wayne Tech, and both sides get 3 victory points for knocking out a free agent, but the League of Assassins also gets a bonus 1 for taking out Hawk entirely, so they gained 4 from that in total. So the penultimate turns are going very quick now because of mass casualties now, at least one side. It's going to be the Teen Titans going first next. So to get the penultimate round started, Damien activated, took 2 swings at on the ground. Bronze Tiger knocked him out again, so he's down and out. He then used his back claw and has grabbed the Titan to claim it. Raish activated first for the League of Assassins. I love just the mental image of him defending this Trigon portal and just fighting off the Teen Titans as they come at him. So Barbara was in base to base with him as well, so he struck at her, did 2 blood plus a knockdown. She's still got 4 endurance, I think, or 3 endurance. I've forgotten if she has 5 or 6 in total. She's still alive. Anyway, she has just been knocked down, so she will be able to stand up on her turn. Each activated next and dropped the loot where he is, and then ran up here, hiding behind the wall for cover, towards Raven and the Wayne Tech. Nightwing activated and struck the ninja. This time he was much better, did 4 stun, taking him to his knockout, so that's a henchman knocked out for 1. He then moved away from the danger of Raish and is heading towards Bronze Tiger to try and get a sneaky 1 victory point if Bronze Tiger stays knocked out for the last turn. So a couple more activations to cover real quick. Carlo has moved slightly, so he has picked up the loot, so that's going to just be, it'll be on his card after that, but that's just to show he picked it up. Then Raven activated, she used Magic Bolt and did 2 blood to this assassin. She then tried to fire her dark magic, but the ping of the wall saved him from damage for that. So that is all the assassins that are left up, so it's just Dove now to end the turn. Just a very quick activation for Dove. She moved next to Batgirl and used the medic skill to remove 1 blood, so there's 1 blood left on Barbara now as we go to the recovery and recap. So as this turn comes to a close, just want to amend again. We forgot that Batgirl hadn't had a turn. She wasn't knocked out, she was knocked down. Spent a counter to stand up, struck at Raish, did nothing, and didn't have her counter spread out as such that she could arrest the downed assassin, so there was nothing else for her to have done. In terms of recovery, that is, Bronze Tiger has woken up again, so he is just knocked out. He might get an activation, I guess, we'll see. In terms of anything else, the assassin didn't wake up. Raish and Carlo did not get rid of their pesky 1 stuns. In victory points gained, Carlo now has the loot for 1, medic for 3 again. The Teen Titans have the Wayne Tech for 2. Damien is now sitting on the Titan on the far side of that red building there for 2. And a henchman was knocked out for 1. So, we already know that it is the League of Assassins getting first activation in the final turn. It's going to be quick, but let's see what happens. So to get the final turn started, Bronze Tiger spent a counter to stand up and then just moved us 4 inches behind the SWAT van, basically just trying to deny an arrest point if Dick chases him that far. That's all he can do. He didn't really have enough. He wouldn't believe if he did perfect damage, he would not have had enough to take out Nightwing now that he's back to full health, so that was the only option, really. Raven activated, cast Magic Bolt, got it through, because magic is quite easy to land, especially that one for 2 blood, leaving the assassin here with 1. She then fired her Dark Blast again, and missed the hit roll, so he is alive, and probably going to contest. Nightwing activated, and since he couldn't really catch up with Bronze Tiger and still have enough to take him out and then arrest him, moved next to the assassin that was here, arrested the assassin, then threw his last set of wingdings at Raish and missed. But he did get 1 more victory point for removing the henchman as a casualty. So that's going to take us to the end of the game here with this kind of recap of the activations that matter. Damien doesn't want to move off of the Titan, Carlo doesn't want to move off the medical, neither of them can be caught. So all that mattered was what, if anything, could happen here. Raish activated, attacked Batgirl, only did 2 blood to her, so she's still standing. Then it just came down to could Batgirl and Dove take out Raish, and no, they could not. He is way too sturdy, so they did nothing to him. He defended the portal successfully, but it was a Pyrrhic victory because his whole team is basically dead or dying. Let's go to the final recaps. So as we recap the end of the game, also forgot to just mention this assassin did what we said would be done and is contesting the Wayne Tech to deny it. It's too late now, but we were looking at things and Batgirl and Dove combined, even with a perfect attack, could not have taken out Raish, so what they should have done was one of them should have moved to the Ace Chemicals for another sneaky 2 victory points, but didn't do that, so it doesn't count. In terms of victory points gained in the last turn, the League of Assassins gained 3 for the medical, 1 for the loot, and the Teen Titans got 2 for the Titan and 1 for arresting the henchman. So that resulted in a very close game, with the final scores being 21 victory points to the Teen Titans and a solid 19 victory points to the League of Assassins. Teen Titans are super tough, we already know that from their previous showings on the channel. The League did okay. If Raish had ever had his crit casualty proc, he could have just been taken out free agents. If he'd taken out Batgirl on that turn where he got close-ish, that would have swung it in their favour. Obviously, if Dove had gone and claimed the Titan there, it would have made it more than just 2 points between it. It would have been 4 points between the teams. If Bronze Tiger had gone down successfully, that would have been an extra point in their favour as well. Bronze Tiger got unlucky. The Damien got so much damage in at turn 2, I think it was. He's very, very powerful. It's just he would have easily taken out Nightwing in a following turn, but Nightwing plus Damien were enough to hold him at bay. Then he was on the defensive and he had to kind of backtrack with all the other Titans close by as well. Raish is an absolute beast. I'm not sure his assassins are that great. It's a shame that Goro, I guess, died so early. He took a lot of wingdings to the face and whatever else, but he was the heavy hitter, but he turned out to be the tank. Raish has a moral, so he doesn't give up victory points if he dies, although the scenario victory points still would have paid out, which, by the way, no team gained points from because both leaders are alive and neither team lost 50% of their rep. But yeah, Raish is immortal, so it's irrelevant if he dies normally out of every other scenario than this, so he is actually the tank. He should have been the frontliner drawing everyone's attention, and Goro should have been behind him ready to be the knife to slice people in half. At least that's my opinion. Could be wrong, but that's how it came across if the match was going to go differently. Teen Titans are very powerful, they're hard to beat. The League put up a good fight. We might see the League again in action again next time against some other crew with either the same list or alterations maybe. Either way, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching this. Go check out the DC miniature game battle reports if you're curious on seeing another Night model game being played, with a lot of Batman models able to be played in that one too. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Ta-ta for now.